Welcome to 2025 June, yo Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising folk. You're lucky in love, work, and money. We have a beautiful sky for you. It's where Jupiter begins to give you superior blessings, especially in long-term committed love. And you have some good fortune, even the possibility of winning some financial goodness in your life during this month ahead. We're going to break this down in itty-bitty details as chronologically as I can, including a full moon and a new moon story in Cancer and in Sagittarius. So much to talk about. The good news is this month ahead feels like a real shift in the energy. We have 4 planets changing signs in this month. This indicates a huge energy directional shift. And the 2 planets that I love the most, Venus moving into Taurus, her home kingdom, and Jupiter into his exaltation in Cancer, give superior blessings to you, me, and the world in so many areas. We'll definitely see world peace coming out of this, at least in the Ukraine-Russia story. But this is not about wars. This is all about you. And so let's get this down. And the show on the road. I'm recording this, by the way, on May the 20th, early access ad free for my Patreon community. And I forgot to share in my last video the things that I'm up to. If you want to study with me, I'm doing my Sky Reader course, Be Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life. Come aboard and learn with me. We're going to be doing a huge 6-week class starting in July. I do this class every year, and it's the 6th time I'll be teaching it. It's a lot of fun, and you're going to learn the basics of astrology and some timing tools that you can use yourself. Finally, ancient timing tools, actually. To know more, check the description box under the More button. You'll be able to sign up for the early bird discount waitlist, and you'll be able to get the information about the course. There's a link below. Also, my 2025 All Signs bundles are for sale. It's 24 hours of video content, half price, PDF guidebooks, different ones for each sign. Get the bundle. Listen for your sun, moon, and rising. And how do we do that, right? Listen for sun, moon, and rising sign. Sun sign, the true you, your soul, but it represents career and purpose in astrology. Your moon, it's your home and your feelings about your life, but your home as well, where you live and your domicile. But then the rising sign is the character you play in the simulation or the avatar in the video game. And that is the way that you often find astrology to be very accurate in its delineations generally, because your rising sign degree or sign or sign of your rising sign is going to be circumstantial change in the life of you, okay, that affects the video game character. So listen for the rising sign for sure, but you can listen for sun secondarily and moon as well. Over time, you begin to see how each of these play out, and you learn how to best use them. I'm having some weird lighting here. Now let's get going, and let me show you the chart. I like to show you the chart for the simple reason that it's easier for me to track and talk by looking at it, and for you to also learn some astrology. Did I say my name? I'm Lori Lothian, using the Western Tropical Zodiac, whole sign houses, fixed stars, minor asteroids, all of the good stuff. Right. So as we begin Capricorn, and you see I've set it for ascendant in Capricorn, but you can listen as if your sun is in Cap, as if your moon is here in the first house. May 25th is where we've got this little baby set right now. We're going to move into the month of June. I have no idea why it's on that day by mistake, but we're going to move into June. And here we go. June the 1st. On June the 1st, we move into this month, and we notice that Venus is co-joined with Chiron. Really nice chironic healing available on the very beginning of the month. It could feel like, oh, I've healed the wound of where I belong. I've healed my home wound. I healed the wound with my mother. I've healed my wounds about finding a place of feeling like I'm okay in life, where I live or whatever. So that's exact really on June 1st. You'll feel it a couple of days beforehand. As we move forward into the sky, we notice that then Venus gets into a love up with good old Jupiter. Oh my God, how beautiful is that? Good for rental property, pets, work opportunities, and work from home opportunities. Really good for being able to pay down a debt. Really good. It's really good for issues to do with matters of rental contracts in particular, signing leases and all of that. Now you're looking at this glow up between Venus in the 4th house and Jupiter going into motion most exact on the 4th and the 5th, but you'll feel it 2 or 3 days before and maybe a couple of days after June 4th and the 5th. So it's good, it's positive, and with Mercury tracking there, it's really good for negotiations, deal making, interviews, especially for getting a new job or getting work close to home. That's one way to code that sky. Or buying a new pet as well. Now, when we move into around June the 6th, Venus is sliding into the sign of Taurus. There she goes. One of 4 planets changing sign this month. It's such a big deal how fresh and new things are feeling. Venus in Taurus is going, she'll be here till September the 4th, if I remember correctly. September the 2nd, is in her home kingdom, and she's in the house of good fortune. Now, you get her here once a year. So once a year, you get about a 3-week glow up. This is a longer glow up than usual. She's moving a bit slow because, did I say September? What am I saying? Till July 4th, June the 6th to July 4th, June the 6th to July 4th. Say it again, June the 6th to July 4th. She's moving a bit slow because she's coming off of a retrograde. So instead of 3 weeks, you get her almost a month of good luck and good fortune. And I love this a lot if you wanted to very cautiously play a lottery ticket. And there's a time when that's going to be more available to you. Sure, June 6th to July 4th, casinos, gaming, bingo halls, sure. And don't overdo it. This is entertainment purposes only. Don't trust an astrologer on this and don't ever overdo it. But you're lucky in love, you're lucky in money. Are you single? Venus's transit could bring you an amazing new love story. You're going to find that would be a beautiful love story indeed, and really powerful, leading to lasting love. If you're in a relationship already, it can improve the fun, the joy, the play, and the pleasure with you and a significant other, especially after June 10th, when Jupiter enters into the 7th house. All said and done, it's also positive for the artists and the creatives who are out there for creating beautiful and groundbreaking and innovative and inventive art. Thank you, Uranus. Or if you're an entrepreneur or self-employed type person, you do your own thing. You're not, you don't have employment structures, breakthroughs in that kind of stuff as well. For this transit also involves Uranus, and we'll get to more of Uranus later on. Now, Venus here can be unexpected pregnancy. So depending on, if you're a guy, your girl could be unexpectedly pregnant, or vice versa. You're a woman, you could get unexpectedly pregnant. So because of that, be careful if you don't want to have a baby. Anytime Venus and Uranus are together in that 5th house placement every year, you enter into a fertility cycle for that time. So keep fertility in mind. As Venus is moving through here, the last thing I want to say about it is, it's really a touch point for what pleasures are available to that bring you deeper joy, inspiration, and enthusiasm. So you're going to be looking at reconnecting to life's pleasures and enjoyment again in your life, starting June 6th, ending on July the 4th. Now, Mercury and Mars, which brings commercial success usually, or passionate communication or driving forward on some deals and negotiations. Those are Mercury Mars stories. June, say right here, Mercury and Mars. Really starting here. Let's get it all lined up. At about June the 4th through to about June the 7th. If you want to sign a contract or a deal connected to employment or employing, like you can find someone to employ, or you could be the one getting employed. That's really that kind of a sky. It's also great for an interview for a job. It's also really good for being able to eliminate a debt, cut out or end a debt that you have in your life, something you owe to somebody else, any kind of debt, in eliminating that, talking it out, negotiating it with luck and ease, and letting that debt go. Now, Mercury and Jupiter are aiming to co-join at 29 degrees, anaretic, powerful last degree of the 6th house of debts, work, health, pets, rental situations. And as they're doing this, they're also more or less talking to Chiron, that wound you have existentially about your mother or belonging or having a place that feels like home. And because this is rental agreements, you may be looking at a rental property arrangement where you're able to be involved in rental agreements and land agreements and property agreements at this time. And with Mars in the 8th house, even purchase and sale agreements. So we're talking about that regarding home and property, and we're talking about it in a very positive and fortunate manner. And you're going to feel that to be very active on June the 7th, 6th, 7th, and 8th of the month. On June the 9th, Mercury crosses the sign boundary, planet number 2 after Venus, into your 7th house of long-term committed love. legal contracts and agreements, and business partnerships, and audience, marketplace, and public. Mercury here is a talker, even if he's a mute, even if he's a mute sign, he's in a water sign. He talks in a soft way, in a in a Cancerian manner. But like, I find that Mercury moving through the seventh house in general means that you're having a lot of communication going on with some person. And Mercury's going to be in that chatty mode, right? Okay, let's talk, let's communicate, let's get this show on the road. That talking vibe, it's really going to be intense. It's going to continue on, right? It's not just a one and done. It's on June the 9th, he crosses that sign boundary. And he's here until June the 26th. So there's a lot of conversation in June with somebody in your life, a business partner, a client, maybe a significant other. There's also the possibility of signing contracts and agreements, especially regarding land, property, and real estate, finding a buyer, selling your property, signing the deals. And especially because in the beginning of this transit, he has a lot of conversation going on with Saturn in the fourth house, a final contract, a strategic deal, that kind of thing. Mercury is in that square to Saturn. That's that conversation about the final deal, the strategic contract. But I don't find that these two are always the worst together. The most difficult part of this would be a difficult, hard conversation being had with somebody you live with. That's how that could show up for us, you. And that would, again, be really activated around June the 8th, June the 9th, June the 10th, around that time. On June the 9th, 10th, around that time, it's very time zone dependent. Jupiter follows Mercury into the seventh house. Now, this is where winning money in a lottery, this is where it gets the sweet spot. June the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Yes, know your limit, play within it. Why not kind of vibe out and play a lottery ticket? Jupiter here, with Mercury, games a chance. Venus in the house of luck. This is good for that. This is also good for romantic love for singletons. If you meet somebody under a Jupiter broad sextile Venus / Mercury conjunction, I think you're going to meet somebody whose company you deeply enjoy, who expands your world, for whom conversation is the hallmark of fun, joy, play, and pleasure. This would be a good onset of a new love story. Otherwise, if you get pregnant, you and your partner are talking about it. And if you're in a relationship already and this is happening, it could increase the fun, the leisure travel, the play, the joy, more lighthearted communication going on in romantic and long-term love stories. Now, that said, and I'm talking about June the 9th, you'll notice that Venus is squaring Pluto. That brings romantic love to the depths of the underworld. We can talk about it in terms of going deep, taking it off the surface of recreational play, looking at what really matters in romantic love, maybe more vulnerability, more emotional connection, more transformative, regenerative power in long-term committed sexual romantic love stories. And I say long-term because of Jupiter now activating the 7th. There's money involved in Pluto's transit through your second house. Financial matters and money issues are here, and it squares Venus, and there may be conflict around financial matters involving a romantic partner. There may also be a possibility of winning money because this square could look like the power of the regenerative power of lucky wealth in an unexpected breakthrough way. And again, well, it could actually play out very actively at the beginning of this ingress, which is June 9th, 10th, 11th, around that time. It can also play it all the way through this month ahead, through to early July, where there's an unexpected breakthrough around financial matters in a lucky way. On June 11th, the moon is full, and it's full in Sagittarius right over here. A Sagittarius full moon lights up your 12th house. Now, this is a hidden house to begin with, and this is a deep enlightenment zone of the sky. It could indicate that you're going to have a spiritual illumination, break free of karmic debts, reduce self-harm through addictions and self-undoing, fulfillment of an agenda you had in the 12th house. Was it to spend more time alone, to educate yourself in something deeply spiritual? Was it to have some significant connection to far off foreign shores and lands in ways that generate wealth? Pluto in the second, moon in the 12th. And this opens up a fulfillment of something that you seeded in November when the moon was new last year. So look at this as also such a subtle place. Sometimes the 12th house, it really can be what you dream at night, insights through meditations, all of that kind of a thing. And Jupiter is the lord of the moon, but he's not paying much attention. He's too busy interacting with others. The moon is a bit on its own in this regard. Although I could say fulfillment regarding a long-term love relationship, home and place to live could be coming through the sky as well, if the home and place to live is in a distant shore from the place you currently reside. On June the 12th, well, just a little bit before that, just before June the 12th, Mars and Chiron are flowing together. And Chiron is that wound since 2019. Some Capricorns will acknowledge like not feeling like you belong. You don't have your true home. Where am I supposed to be in this world? And you'll notice that like on June the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, that kind of window of time, Mars is really beginning to work with the Chironic wound in Leo. This is to allow for a change of home regarding mortgages, escrow, buying or selling, maybe healing a wound because you're dealing with your unconscious material, especially regarding your mother and a feeling of belonging in this world. And also healing a chironic wound about money that you may have to pay other people through divorce settlements and stuff like that, especially alimony, spousal support. And there's some kind of healing that could occur here as well, maybe even eliminating the need to be paying that money as well. Something good is trying to happen with this Mars Chiron trine. And again, 9th to the 12th, you're really feeling that energy. On the 9th, and Mercury is squaring Saturn. Oh, I talked about the difficult conversation. I covered that. So with a significant other, on June the 9th, 10th, it really depends on where you live. As we say, time zone dependent. As I said, Jupiter has ingressed into your 7th house with Mercury. Well, you had conversations before Jupiter got here, right? Mercury entered in earlier. Mercury was ahead of the curve on June 7th or 8th. By the 9th, 10th, Jupiter's right there with him. Long story short, things get easier. If conversations were stuttering and half-assed happening or mute, now Jupiter's going to wake the whole story up. So discussions with business negotiations, legal contracts, deals, sign on for employment, things to do with the way wealthy, powerful people may enter your life, or leaderful people, or good people for you, or just a really nice touch of good conversation and ease and aligning with a significant relationship partner in a way that is very fresh and very magnanimous and very full of faith, hope, and optimism. Jupiter here can be about the other person. They may be having some positive lucky breaks or something good in their life, especially given the whole sign sextile to Venus. So lucky breaks are happening for your significant other. Your significant other may get pregnant. Your significant other may win the lottery. Those are stories in your sky as well. Again, this is June the 9th, 10th, as soon as Jupiter ingresses or moves into your 7th house. All legal contracts, negotiations, and matters will favor you for a year. Jupiter will be here until the end of June next year. Jupiter will retrograde here later on, and we're not going to talk about that yet, but his retrogradation will have former romantic partners in the past come back to you, but also will test an existing relationship. But you're not there yet, so not to worry. I'll cover that as it occurs during the year ahead. Now, Jupiter is also in a square to Saturn mostly all month, right? About June the 9th, 10th to the end of the month. It gets exact about the 13th, 14th, 15th. So it's playing all month long. And Jupiter wants this bounteous growth and expansion in the long-term committed love, marketplace, audience, clients, business partners. And Saturn's cautionary note, let's take it slow. Let's be careful. Let's not rush this deal. Is it sustainable? Can it last? Does it have a solid foundation? And a lot of this might look like conversations about cohabitation or living together with a significant other, or land and property matters connecting to a significant other, for example. And on June 11th, the moon is full in Sagittarius. Oh, I covered that. I did. One thing I would say about Jupiter squaring Saturn, basically June 9th to the end of the month, is it anything you agree to do or agree on with a significant other that you cohabitate with will have legs to stand on. It will be realistic, reasonable, and sturdy. That's what I'll say about that. Venus is the goddess of love, the goddess of beauty. And I want to remind you that when she's in your fifth house, that luck that you're having in life is going to bring you a greater sense of joy and ease. And so everything I say when I talk about the difficult circumstances, you have to remember Venus is trying to countermand that as she's moving through this beautiful transit in your fifth house. She gets really tightly connected to Mercury around June the 12th. That would be an ideal win some money day, if you know what I mean, around June the 12th. On June the 12th, a difficult story emerges that can be shocking or surprising for the world, but your life isn't like a calamitous event. So Mars is squaring Uranus on June the 12th. And this could be an unexpected development or a surprising direction that something is going to take regarding one of your children, your romantic partnership, your creative projects, or your entrepreneurial endeavors. And it has to do with money or secrets. So here are some examples. Shocking disclosures of infidelities in a relationship, unexpected developments around financial matters connected to love, fractures or breakages or shocks or surprises connected to secrets and your children or secrets and romantic love partners. It's not an easy time. I'll give you June 12th to the 16th. And I can't tell you the nature of the surprise. Well, it may be a breakthrough as well. Mars is in a difficult house, and it could be a karmic development, a very deeply karmic story as Mars moves through the very karmic 8th house, squaring Uranus in the 5th. If I was giving advice and you were in the dating scene, I wouldn't start dating somebody June 12th to the 16th because you bake in a new relationship with that tense dynamic for the duration of that relationship. So avoid the dating scene if you're single June 12th to the 16th. Don't bake that energy into your new relationship at all. Mars is going to cross a sign boundary. That's exciting. And we're going to talk about that. That's June 17th, the fourth planet to cross the sign boundary. So as he's getting ready to cross from Leo, where he's been since mid-April, and get into your ninth house, as he's preparing to do that, he is also, gearing up, you'll notice that Jupiter is squaring Neptune. This is going to be where illusions give way to truth, okay? Where you've had some pie in the sky, illusory concept of what's possible in stable home, visionary home, healing of the home. And Jupiter is truth. Truth is just truth. You can't parse it. And you're going to know what is true regarding home and long-term love relationship in a kind of critical decision and turning point way around June the 15th. You'll feel it a couple of days before and a couple of days after. On June the 17th, we see that we get Mars in your ninth house. It'll be there for 6 weeks. Your ninth house is a travel house if you're wanting to go to foreign shores and distant lands. And so foreign places is there, and Mars likes to gallivant. So you may be busy in long distance foreign travel. June 17th, add 6 weeks. You may also find this is going to give you legal battle momentum, where you want to go to court, where there's a lawyer, where there's a dispute, where the judge has to rule, and you may be involved in legal and court type litigation and matters of those types for the 6 weeks. And in Mars up here, he's also in the house of third marriages. First marriage is seventh house, second marriage is second house, third marriage is, ninth house. And there may be disputes in a third marriage as well, or legal matters going on in a third marriage situation. Mars up here has got a lot of action. He's going to be very, very busy. He will be in a trine to Venus. We'll cover that when we get to it. It's going to happen in July. Now, I do believe anyway. Now what we're going to talk about is this. On June the 19th to the 21st, right, that window of time covering the solstice ingress, Mars will be talking to Jupiter in a favorable manner. This is really good for legal contracts and settlements that work out, where the judge and the lawyers work it out, mediation, legal settlements and contracts beautifully fulfilled without strife between the 19th and the 21st. I set a court date. I tell my lawyers to settle then, June 19th to the 21st. Really good for long distance relationship and committed love. If there's a desire for the two of you to travel abroad or take a romantic trip abroad, that works really well. Also good for getting an offer to attend a certain college or university and signing on the dotted line, June the 19th to the 21st. Good for getting an ally, or not an ally, a business partnership deal with someone in a foreign country or land or distant shore as well, June 19th to the 21st. Now, on June the 21st, the sun ingresses in the summer solstice into the sign of Cancer. That's going to be there for a month, of course, with Jupiter. Now, it's going to be a beautiful energy here because of a moon that's coming up. But one thing I'll say about it, when the sun is shining in the seventh house, your attention goes every year to other people, your client, your audience, your marketplace, your significant other. And you're focused there because the light is over there, right? Now, Jupiter says focus there brings luck. Focus there brings opportunity. Focus there brings prosperity. So it's not navel gazing. You're focused on the others. And maybe your significant other is prosperous and lucky at this time as well. But your focus is on the other person. So you're going to notice that to be true June 20th out of month as the sun is ingressing into Cancer and you're experiencing that storyline. As the sun ingresses into Cancer, the first thing it does is square Saturn. Again, what's this tension between home and significant relationship, between home, property, real estate, and somebody else in your life? This, or tension regarding contractual matters and legal matters to do with property, land, real estate. Again, it's in the sky for some of you. And it could be rental properties as well. Mercury is here and he rules rentals. It doesn't have to be buying and selling. So this is a gritty time in the very beginning of this solar ingress into the sign of Cancer. Next, you're going to notice that the sun is also, though, participating positively with Mars. So again, legal matters, courts, foreign land travel, distant shores, and book publishing deals are going to work out relatively well around the 20th to about the 26th. On June the 25th, we have a new moon in Cancer, and I'll show that to you. It's going to happen at 4 degrees. I lost your sign. Give me a minute. It's going to happen at back by a month. It's going to happen at 4 degrees of Cancer. That's your marriage house. That's your business partners. That's your audience and marketplace. I say it over and over. Contractual agreements, legal agreements, new beginnings, fresh starts. Now, fresh starts, well, Mercury is trining the chironic wound in the house of home. Fresh starts with a squaring, and it fresh starts with a square from Jupiter, Sun, Moon to Saturn, Neptune. This is a big turning point energy for new beginnings when it comes to property, land, home, real estate, matters connected to committed and long-term love. Something decisive is trying to happen. Something is trying to take action and be decided here. Squares are the nature of Mars. But it is a new moon, so watch the 2 weeks that follow, June 25th, add 2 weeks. Look indeed at the 6-month forecast as well. It's going to unfold over 6 months. It's mostly positive. It's one of the luckiest new moons of the year. But Jupiter says you don't always get what you want. You get what you need. That's his motto. I tell you, it really is. All righty. Mercury moves into Leo. Mercury moves into Leo, and he'll be there for a dog's age. A dog's age. Yeah. Why? Because of retrogradation, and because he'll be in Leo until September the 2nd. And with a retrograde here, there's a lot of negotiations, tabulations, accounting, sorting the books in your taxes, in your alimony spousal support stuff, in your investment portfolios, in your inheritance monies, in money you share with a significant other. And this kind of influence, especially with Mercury trining Saturn, could look like negotiations around property, land, and real estate. Those are big stories for you. And it's going to be a longer story. It can help heal that chironic wound by September when Mercury will be in a trine to Chiron. I say for a lot of you, property, home, real estate, spousal support, shared assets and resources, inheritances, all of this is going to, and investment monies is going to take your attention strongly for those months ahead. Now, Saturn is trining this, so it's going to bring lasting and stable results. It's not calamitous, it's positive, and you'll see that energy playing out all the way through to September, but it starts in earnest as the transition is happening around June the 26th. And I will mention that at the end of the month, as Mercury does this ingress, he's also in opposition to Pluto. Now, I wouldn't like it except for the fact that it blows off steam in a wedge with Saturn and Neptune. So ultimately, you may have some very intense, transformative, and regenerative financial agreements, situations, intense negotiations around money and money matters happening in your life the 26th of the month to the end of the month. But it blows off steam with Saturn, and those intense forensic audits and investigations of money matters is going to regenerate your wealth and help you in the long run attain a more reasonable and sustainable path of earnings and financial success. And if you're in any kind of blowout regarding separation monies and divorces, which can happen in this kind of sky, then you're going to get sustainable, fair, and even and lasting and strategic results. Keep that in mind. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, if you like and subscribe, it helps the channel grow, and I would appreciate it. And don't forget to come study Sky Reader with me, be your own astrologer, time your best life, or get my All Signs bundle. Information is below in the description box. Thanks, guys.